Hey everyone, welcome back to the Road to 2000 series. This is episode 16. So last week I hit a bit of a milestone with the 1900 rating, and yeah, this week I played another two games of Rapid. The first one ended in a draw. It was like a similar start to this one, like an accelerated Panov of the Caro-Kann, where I lost a pawn and then kind of hung on for a draw, basically. Um, yeah, and this one, I had the black pieces again. And this one I played on the weekend. And yeah, let's see how this one went. Yeah, so I had the black pieces. My opponent played e4. I play the Caro-Kann, which is c6. And then they play this kind of c4 line. It's called the accelerated Panov, I think, like really trying to clamp down on this d5 square, trying to prevent black from playing d5. Um, Black can play d5 anyway, which is what I did. But yeah, I think the point of this sort of Panov setup is to basically like take, maybe force black to bring the queen out early, even though you don't have to. You can bring the knight out first, um, and sort of concede that you've got an isolated pawn, but it kind of disrupts black's play a bit, doesn't allow them to get their sort of solid Caro-Kann structure. And with knight c3 coming in, they might be able to win a tempo on the queen anyway. So it's a pretty good weapon, I think. I find it a little bit uncomfortable to face. Um, but my opponent took on d5. I took back, and then they played e5, which to me was a really nice move to see. Like, I find this very strange. Um, why sort of clamp down on this d5 square if you're not going to take it? I actually thought it might have been a mouse slip, but who knows? Maybe they just played e5 anyway. Um, okay, so I play knight c6. They play d4. Um, yeah, and now it's kind of just like a regular Caro-Kann. I'm trying to think of a way we can reach this position anyway. Like, um, let's say we play e4, c6, d4, d5, e5, c5, c3. We go takes, knight c6. We come to the same position that was in the game, except in this position it would be white's to move, whereas what happened in the game. Sorry, I need to get back to what happened in the game. Um, we get this position, but it's black to move. So, if they wanted to go into this setup, they should have done it in the other way, so that at least it's their move now. Um, I mean, I can get the bishop out to f5. I throw in this move queen b6 first, because I kind of like giving white the opportunity to play knight f3 so that I can bring the bishop out with tempo, or with, just to instigate that pin, which I kind of like. Yeah, and queen b6, the queen often wants to go to b6 anyway to sort of attack these two pawns. My opponent doesn't go to knight f3, they play knight e2. But that's fine for me. I think I want to pin them anyway, like play bishop g4. If they want to play f3, they can. I would think that's a little bit weakening. But they do play f3. I drop the bishop back, and they play knight c3. Yeah, and I'm pretty happy with how this opening has gone. Like, I feel like I've got a comfortable position. I play e6. Then they strike with g4. Um, a bit of an aggressive move, but perhaps they felt they had to try something. I drop back with the bishop to g6. They play bishop g2. And yeah, I think now I had a little bit of a think, if I remember. You know, I definitely felt like I was a bit on top here out of the opening, but I wasn't really sure. It's a little bit of an unfamiliar position to me. Normally in the Caro-Kann, I like putting my knight on f5, but that's not really possible. Bishop e7 looks fine, but then, you know, what am I doing with my knight? I could come pin this knight with bishop b4, but that's normally not that great, and white can just play bishop d2 if they want. Rook c8 is a sort of improving move, but you know, it doesn't really address what I'm going to do with my king side. So I decided to go a bit aggressive, and yeah, it's a good move. You know, one of the top 2 computer moves here, and I play h5. You know, the point of h5 was just to put a bit of pressure on white's overextended pawns, and if white ever takes, which I don't think is a good move, not only does it allow me to sort of, I mean, both taking with the bishop or the rook looks good, probably the rook. Not only does it give me like an open H file to work with, or a semi-open H file to work with, but it also allows me to put my knight on f5 again, since this pawn would not be there. So yeah, that would really be like a nice situation there. But my opponent instead played castles, and I actually thought in this position that they couldn't castle, because after castles, I thought I had this move, knight takes on e5, making use of this pin. However, after knight takes on e5, I hesitated before I played this. I just wanted to check. Knight takes on e5, there's knight a4, attacking my queen, and I can't keep my queen on the same diagonal, on this sort of diagonal to preserve the pin. So if I play knight takes on e5, knight a4, I have to drop my queen back somewhere, like queen c6 or queen c7, and then white can just take this knight. What I missed is that at the end of this line, what I missed the following variation. Basically, you can take the pawn on e5, because after knight a4, there's queen c6, and if white takes the knight now, we've got bishop c2, which hits the queen, and you're going to win back the knight. So yeah, I didn't see didn't see all the way through there. I did see this move, but I ruled it out because of knight a4. So yeah, had I looked a little bit further, maybe I could have seen that sort of idea. But I missed that idea. I instead played bishop e7 now. Computer's not a big fan of that move because of knight a4 anyway. I dropped the queen back to c7, and white plays knight f4, and yeah, now I'm not feeling too good about my position at all anymore. Yeah, I mean, I can drop the bishop back, but then, you know, the knight can take this pawn and, you know, be threatening a check on g7. So yeah, it's just crazy how quickly chess can change. I mean, I was feeling really good about my position probably 3 moves ago, and then a couple of accurate moves from white and a couple of, you know, not so accurate moves from me, and white really feels on top again. I played knight h6, you know, just thinking that, what can I do? I can't really save this bishop. If I drop back to h7, this move looks, you know, too strong. So I decide I have to give up the bishop. My opponent instead takes this pawn, which is not a good move, and I was kind of happy to see that. Gives me an opportunity to drop my bishop back to h7, keep the bishop alive, get my knight to f5. my opponent plays bishop e3. Knight f5 is the obvious move. I tried to get a little bit clever here, and I think I think I should have just played knight f5 straight away. I thought perhaps that if I play knight f5 now, the bishop just drops back to f2, and white's pretty solid there. So I think I got a little bit too fancy here. I wanted to try and throw in bishop h4, and then if white plays something, I don't know, a random move, rook c1, let's say. Now I can play knight f5, and then if the bishop drops back to f2, trying to keep, guarding this d4 pawn, I can trade bishops and then win the pawn. So that would look something like bishop h4, white makes a random move, we play knight f5, the bishop drops back, takes, and then we win the pawn. But the only problem is that with that variation, as we're seeing right now, is this pin. So I'm attacking this twice, but this is my queen's actually pinned here. My knight's actually pinned to my queen. So I started this whole variation. And the other thing I think I was concerned about was the knight coming to c5. So yeah, a little bit confused here. I probably was confusing myself with all the options that I had. I started with b6, thinking that I wasn't in a rush to implement this plan. Long term, I'm going to win this pawn. Let me just prevent this knight from coming in. I'll bring my rook here, get the queen out of the way, then we can start with this plan. My opponent played rook c1, very logical move. Now I played knight f3, which is sort of counter to what I said I was going to do, which was put the bishop there. Bishop f2, I bring the bishop to pin this knight to the rook. Queen comes up, bring the rook to c8. My opponent plays b4, which seems a little bit reckless. I play queen d7, b5, and now I hop the knight into a5. We've got a trade of rooks on c8. The knight drops back. I bring the queen to d7. And after a4, I castle. We got rook c1. And apparently, I've just got a fork here, knight b3. I missed that. I play rook c8. Way too much tunnel vision. Takes, and after bishop g3, I put my knight on c4. We have a trade, and then bishop f2, and yeah, really kind of sloppy play by me, but to miss that fork. But I really like this position. I mean, I really liked, dominating the c-file. I felt like this pawn is weak. These bishops are going to come alive. I can probably win this pawn. A little bit careless perhaps, a little bit sloppy, but I just got tunnel vision on controlling the c-file, and I ended up doing it, and the computer really likes my position here. So I win that pawn. Whoops. We go queen c1, then I go back to queen c4, takes. Yeah, I mean, I like this position. We've got knight e2, and now I suppose this is the losing move. I mean, I have two really bad moves in the next few moves, and this is the first one. I think I got a little bit complacent here. I thought that if I move this knight, well, I thought I had lots of good moves. I mean, let's say I move this knight to e7. Look at these bishops covering the c pawn, like promotion square. It's basically got like a red carpet to the promotion. So I wanted to put my knight on d5. I wanted to play bishop d3. I thought I had all the time in the world. And I just completely missed what White wanted to achieve with this knight e2 move. And that is to play f4. And f4 really like shuts down a lot of my advantage and a lot of my the potency of these bishops. In this position, I really had to play bishop d2. It's bishop d2 is -5, +5 for black, and the second best move is -1.4. So bishop d2 is kind of a must find in this position. And yeah, the reason I had to play this is because if I don't play it, my bishop is just locked out of the game locked out of play for the rest of the game. So I play knight e7 and my opponent plays f4. And yeah, that's why I've sort of titled this video like the thorny pawn. This pawn just becomes a monster, and I have to drop my bishop back to h6. I mean, knight e7 is even particularly bad because I couldn't even reroute my bishop to e7 like this way. So I play bishop h6, and my opponent plays bishop g3 to just really lock in this bishop. Yeah, I still thought I had a decent-ish position though. Like I was thinking maybe bishop d3. At this point, I didn't really know I'd thrown away my advantage. I still thought I probably had a slight advantage. I thought maybe bishop d3 looked good, but I also thought knight d5 looked good. But yeah, knight d5 is another move. This is the sort of second move I play that's not great, because after takes, and knight c3, yeah, I don't have a good way of defending this pawn. I can play bishop e4, which is what I played in the game, but after that bishop gets traded off, this is now a losing position. It's a really losing position because these pawns are terrible. The king's just going to come in and win these pawns, and then this pawn is going to be a monster. My bishop is completely stuck. I cannot move this bishop. Yeah, so it's a pretty clean conversion here for white. They get the king in. I try and play f5. I mean, it's everything's kind of losing here. Thought they should have taken en passant, but they didn't. I get my king a bit closer, but yeah, these two pawns are too strong. And this bishop h4 is quite a nice final touch because, yeah, I mean, it covers this promotion square on d8. So I knew I was lost here. I make a few more moves and try one final thing with g5, but my opponent just takes and yeah, gives me a check, gives me another check. I take the pawn and then they make a queen, and I resign that one. So yeah, a little bit, I think I got a little bit complacent there. I thought my position was very good. I couldn't really lose it, I think. Or maybe it was just a sloppy game. I think it probably just wasn't my best game. I missed the fork on b3, and I also missed the critical move, knight 97, leading to the critical move f4. But yeah, that was the game. I dropped back to 1886, and yeah, thanks everyone for watching that one. Let me know what you thought of the game. Probably wasn't my best game, but I'll be keen to kind of come back into form this week with a couple of good rapid games. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all next time.